Ever feel like everyone's tossing around the word leadership, but like, what does it even really mean?
Right. It's everywhere, kind of like a buzzword.
Totally. And there's a ton of advice out there. Books, podcasts, you name it.
Oh, yeah. Endless tips and tricks.
But today, we're diving deep into 5 leadership tips that actually pack a punch.
We're cutting through the noise to what really matters.
Let's get into it. Tip number 1, leading by example. This one's huge. What does that even look like in the real world?
It's walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Yeah.
More than just being a role model, right? It's about really living those values, those behaviors you want your team to embody.
Okay, so say instead of just saying work-life balance is important.
Exactly. You actually leave the office at a reasonable hour. Encourage your team to take breaks.
Show them, don't just tell them.
Because actions speak louder than words, right?
100%. Okay, tip number 2, clear communication. We've all been there. A project goes sideways because someone misunderstood something.
Ugh, miscommunication is a productivity killer. But clear communication is more than just being clear, you know?
What do you mean?
It's also really being present, actively listening, making sure the message is received how you intended it.
So less emailing, more face-to-face.
Right, or at least following up, checking in,
Yep.
making sure everyone's truly on the same page.
It makes sense. Sometimes you hear something, but you don't really get it, you know?
And that's where emotional intelligence comes in. Tip number 3,
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
it's being self-aware, knowing how your emotions, your actions, all of it impacts everyone around you. Being empathetic.
So how does a leader actually use emotional intelligence, say, in a conflict situation?
Imagine 2 team members are butting heads. A leader with high emotional intelligence, they'd approach that with like genuine empathy, right? Listening to each side, trying to understand.
Not just shutting it down.
Exactly. Finding a resolution where everyone feels heard, but still keeps the project moving forward.
Cool. Okay, what's next?
Tip number 4, empowerment. Especially important when building a team, right?
Yeah, giving people the reins. How do you define empowerment, though?
It's giving people ownership, autonomy, not just tasks. Imagine being told exactly what to do versus...
Versus being trusted to figure it out.
Right. It shows you trust your team, their judgment.
Which builds confidence. I like it. Okay, last tip. This one can be tough.
Tip number 5, seeking feedback.
Ooh, yeah, that can be hard to stomach sometimes.
It's true, but it's how we grow, right?
Yeah.
Every bit of feedback, good or bad, it's a chance to learn and improve.
It's that growth mindset thing.
Totally. So ask for it, that feedback, and be open to what you hear, even if it's not what you want to hear.
Because ultimately it makes you better.
Exactly.
So to wrap things up, these 5 tips, leading by example, clear communication, emotional intelligence, empowerment, and seeking feedback.
Yeah.
They really do lay the groundwork for actually becoming a better leader, not just talking about it.
100%.
It's a journey, right? Not a destination.
It really is. A constant process of learning and growing.
So for everyone listening, here's something to think about this week. Which of these tips resonated with you the most? And how can you actually start putting it into practice in your own life, whether it's at work or even in your personal life? Until next time, keep on learning and leading.